Hey guys, welcome back to Kiesel News. To start today off, we have some disappointing news on Marvel Rivals. You know that new Marvel PvP game that was announced maybe just over a month ago at this point? Well, for content creator reviews, there's a non-disparagement agreement. This essentially means that you can't say anything negative about the game in your review. Now, this is just something that shoots yourself in the foot every single time. I don't know why companies still insist on doing it. Every time a situation like this happens, the contract seems to leak itself out to the public, thus making the reputation of the company who did it 10 times worse anyway. So you're better off to just allow negative reviews. One, because you should have pride in your work as a company, right? So you shouldn't force reviews to be positive. Reviews shouldn't have to be forced. You should be releasing work that you're proud of. I mean, it is Disney, so they probably don't care that much about quality. They have to rush out all these projects, but I digress. To make the situation worse, the team behind the game put out an apology for this when they clearly just did it because they got caught. You don't change your ethics a day after something comes out. We all know that. To pivot to some film news, apparently Brad Pitt's new F1 movie has a $300 million budget. That puts it just outside the top 10 most expensive films of all time. Now, it is made by the director of Top Gun Maverick, so the studio is obviously banking on that selling enough tickets alone. But I have my doubts that it'll make 300 million back. And that's not even counting it making a profit. For one, Bullet Train, which I think looks more interesting than an F1 movie if you ask me, didn't even make 300 million. Its budget was lower, but that proves that Brad Pitt alone isn't an instant sell anymore, guys. Although I suppose F1 fans will probably eat this shit up. And they'll for sure gas it up to be even better than it is, just like all the Top Gun fans do. Like, I haven't seen the original Top Gun, so I'm sure that was 10,000 times better. But Top Gun Maverick was ass. I don't know how everyone loves it so much. Next up, Steve Carell said he will not appear in the new Office series. Now, I think this is mostly a good thing if it is the case, because the entire point of the new series is to expand the universe and go in a different direction. So you don't need a cameo from Steve Carell just because. But I guarantee you he will be in the show. It's gonna be a Toby and Andrew No Way Home situation where they just won't reveal a cameo. Like, what use would it be to say, oh yeah, Steve Carell, he's gonna have a cameo, guys. Make sure you watch. Like, no, when it happens, you're just gonna see it on the show, and then it'll cause even more buzz. He could even appear in fucking season 20 if the show gets 20 seasons. Therefore, he's not even lying. He wouldn't know if he was in it. Also, after doing further research on his quote, he said this in response to an interview that was supposed to be about his new movie If with John Krasinski, and I get it, okay? If looks terrible execution wise. The only thing interesting is the concept. But that doesn't mean you should take away from the initial point of the interview. Because now, it's like with all those Marvel interviews where an actor is going on to promote their new movie, and if they were in a Marvel movie, that's all they're ever asked about. As opposed to the project that they're actually there to promote. I suppose that could work out in the project's favor, though, because even if The project just gets mentioned in passing in the article that's about Marvel. That's likely more eyes on the project than would have been initially, as Marvel's so much bigger. So maybe it's actually a big brain strat of all these directors hiring Marvel people. Next, we have Chris Pratt saying that Mario 2 is going to help the cinematic universe be founded. This is not news, guys. We know this. Technically, a cinematic universe is created as soon as there's more than one project in a universe. Boom, 2 movies equals a cinematic universe. Obviously, this means more than that, but likely it just means a Donkey Kong movie for sure. Like, this doesn't mean that Kirby is gonna show up in a post-credit scene in Mario 2. It likely just means Donkey Kong or Yoshi or a Peach project. A Peach project is actually pretty likely, especially with Princess Peach Showtime and Peach already being established in the Mario movie. Alright, next up, we have a new Agatha title. Agatha, the Lying Witch with Great Wardrobe. I'll stand by that I don't give a fuck about this series whatsoever, and I don't think anyone really does. With all the cancellations and delays, I'm so surprised that this is still getting made. But regardless, it's hilarious how many retitles this thing has had. I believe this is the 5th one. But interestingly, the title was then removed a couple hours later. Now you can't find any evidence of it. But it was real. So it likely just means that they revealed it too early, as there's a rumor that we're getting a trailer tomorrow. So the title will probably be officially revealed along with when the trailer comes out. And probably still bags over 10 million views because it's Marvel. Something that should get over 10 million views, though, is the new Amazing World of Gumball series that's coming out. Now, there's not really much new to report on this, aside from that it's going to be appearing at a film festival next month, so we will learn more soon. But just the fact that we're finally going to be learning more about it after the Inquisition, the final episode of the original series, aired like 5 years ago at this point. That's crazy to me how it's been that long. Like, I remember watching the Pokemon Sun and Moon Pokemon League in Japanese when this came out, and the Sun and Moon anime ended fucking ages ago. Anyways, we can only hope that this new series retains the original spark and hopefully answers the massive cliffhanger that the Inquisition left us on, even if it's just in the last episode or something. I believe it has been stated to be a continuation, so they have to address it somehow, right? Apparently, Chuck E. Cheese's animatronics are gonna be going away. What? This is fucking sad, man. Watch this be the first step into Chuck E. Cheese's forays into the blockchain, crypto, and NFTs as replacements. In all seriousness, they state the reasoning is animatronics not being popular with kids anymore, but that makes no sense, as FNAF exists. And sure, FNAF isn't at the popularity that it was like 7 years ago, but I'm sure people are still talking about animatronics more than they were in general back when the company first started. I mean, it's not like FNAF's completely dead.